Buyers leak from your funnel all the time. It's a form of failure. You've tried to move them forward, they didn't move forward, they leaked, you failed. It's how you handle that failure that shapes your success. Oh, really?
Funnel Vision is brought to you by Math Marketing, creators of the Funnel Plan. Math Marketing is the source of the 1, 2, 3 of B2B.
It's okay. I haven't become some mumbo-jumbo kind of preacher about self-actualization. My point isn't how you feel about the leakage and how you deal with that internally. It's how you deal with it with the prospect, what you do to and with them that will shape your success. And in today's show, I'll show you how and why. Okay, you probably know about the buyer's journey, but let me just remind you just very briefly to get some language on the table. So in the beginning, the buyer doesn't know who you are and they don't care. And then at some point they're interested, but they still don't really care that much. And at some point, probably before that, they know who you are, but they're not even interested. So we go from, I don't even know who you are, to I know who you are, but I'm not interested, to I'm interested, but I'm not really acknowledging that I've got a problem to fix yet, to actually, then I do have a problem that somebody better fix, and then I know what I need, and then I know what you can do to help me meet that need, and then I prefer it, and then I buy it. The point today is not so much about the journey, but about the leakage from the journey, as you know. We're going to refer to that as recycling. Nurturing versus recycling. We use the term nurturing all the time in B2B marketing as if it's interchangeable with recycling, and it's not. Nurturing is really describing the character of a tactic. It's often thought leadership, it's certainly content, and it's moving a buyer very slowly through a series of thoughts, but it's kind of offline, it's out of the funnel. You can use nurturing for a first stage prospect or a quite late stage prospect, but we're talking about recycling today, that is prospects who are not currently in your funnel. But of course your recycling should be of a nurturing character. So in short, your recycling should be nurturing, but your nurturing can be used for many stages, not just recycling. With that said, let's now talk about recycling. The question for our recycling is, how do we get them back into the funnel so that next time they're more conditioned to our way of thinking? And how do we even get it next time? Well, it turns out there's only two very simple points that I'd like to share with you about how you recycle well. And the first one is managing the exit. And by that I mean at whatever point your buyers reached in their journey before they left, whatever the point, when they exit, negotiate the nurture. That is, if you've been in deep sales conversation, they're quite late in the funnel and then they bailed, the conversation from the salesperson would be, I get that you don't want to progress at this point, and so we are going to stand down as you suggested. I know though that you're going to be thinking about this topic a lot and how you prepare your business for this topic. So whilst you're doing that, what I'll do is I'll share with you some of our ideas from time to time about lessons that we've learned from other companies going through the same process. Would that be okay? Now, of course it will be okay. So that's the first point, is to negotiate, condition their exit. Imagine that in contrast to 3 or 6 months later, somebody realises that we should be nurturing these prospects, puts them on a nurture program, but they haven't heard from you for 3 or 6 months and they certainly didn't agree to be part of this nurture program. It's spam. The difference is small, but actually huge in its effect on the prospect. My second point is that when you are recycling your prospects, you really are reconditioning them on, I think, 2 levels. Firstly, what problems they have and should prioritise. And secondly, what they need from you or anybody when they go looking for a solution to that problem. And your recycling should be reconditioning them to what the problems and associated needs are, so that when they do re-enter your funnel, they're very much conditioned to your way of thinking, not your competitor's way of thinking.
If you enjoyed this blog, then likely you will enjoy others. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to receive this blog by visiting mathmarketing.com/blog or by visiting our YouTube channel. If you have a colleague who may be interested, we would be so grateful if you invited them to subscribe. Why don't you do that now? And when you come back, we'll show you how we do that in Funnel Plan.
As you know, Funnel Plan is a great way to bring your sales and marketing plan onto a single page. It describes your objectives, your strategy, your velocity, and the tactics that sales and marketing are going to use for every stage in the buyer's journey, from hello to thank you, or from new names found to decision made. We're talking today, though, specifically about recycling. That's right down the bottom here in the plan, and recycling is how we get prospects back into the funnel after they've leaked at any stage. Let's begin with our blogging video, and we're going to go to recycling tactics. Now, in the case of this particular plan, we've got just this one tactic: ongoing invitations to thought leadership, short teasers with a lead to the blog. That's a single tactic, and we select in that single tactic where it goes from and to, and that is the first stage that this recycling tactic holds for, and the second, and the final stage that it holds for. So we've said in this example that we want this tactic to be our recycling tactic all the way from interest established to decision made. In other words, anywhere in the funnel that they leak, I could have changed that to any other stage. At any stage that they've got two in the funnel, we're going to use this tactic to get them back into the funnel. Now, you'll notice that I haven't selected a group here. I've used these groups in other of the tactics in order to demonstrate the pattern of colours that you can create at the bottom of the funnel. If I don't create any group, it's going to automatically assume that it's a recycling tactic and it's going to make it gold. I tend not to use grouping of these. I use grouping typically for progression tactics, so I can cluster them together for maybe inbound versus outbound, or done versus yet to be done, or some other clustering like that. In the case of recycling, I'm going to leave that as no group, click save, and that's my tactic. In next week's show, I'll share with you some of our favourite tactics for carrying that nurture and recycling message. But for now, may your funnel be full and always flowing.